Hi, my name's Susan Coop and this is the fourth workshop in a series of mini art workshops that I've been producing during the lockdown period. They are intended for anyone who would like to try some creativity at home, and as much as possible I have used upcycled materials, which is explained more fully in the first video. So let's get started. I've been inspired by all the wonderful variety of greens we have in our outdoor environment, and so today I'm going to be focusing on mixing some of those greens and combining this with doodling in pattern. Just as a reminder, if we are using upcycled material, in this case newspaper, we need to seal the surface, make it less absorbent, with something like just ordinary emulsion paint, and I'm just quickly crisscrossing very roughly to create an interesting textural surface also. So I've selected a yellow and a blue, which I am going to mix in a variety of greens. You can use acrylics, watercolours, poster paints, whatever you've got. So we'll start by taking a little bit of the blue. I've watered it down a tiny bit and just stroke the edge of your yellow like that, rather than plunging your brush right in the middle and making the whole of the yellow one colour. So we've got a little bit of green there, and all we have to do is just the same action. Just crisscross onto your paper and it will pick up the lovely pattern in the emulsion paint underneath. So when you've done a small section, I've dipped my brush in the water a little bit and stroke a little bit more yellow into your green and apply that one right next to the last one like that. So they semi-blend like that. I'm doing this crisscross action again, so use that up. I think I'll go a little bit lighter, so I will stroke the brush again, just the tip of the brush, make it even more limey green, and apply that, crisscrossing. And then we think we'll go for a little bit darker, a bit more contrast. We add a little bit more blue to our green, a little bit more stroking the edge so you're in control of how dark you go with your green. See how many different greens you can achieve, and then we can apply that, brush that over the top lightly, take it around the edge if you like, and as the brush gets drier it will create an even thinner layer. You can blend it in if you like. See, I'm just brushing it backwards and forwards like that, so that you end up with a whole sheet of different coloured greens. When you're choosing which leaves to use, try and find ones with plenty of space around them, because we're actually going to be drawing around the leaves to make it easier. And for today's demonstration, I'm going to just keep it a little bit simpler and just use these two, a straight edge and a rounded edge for some contrast. And with our pencil, we just very lightly use a little scribbling action like that to draw around the edge. So do that for all the leaves like that until you have your outline. So here it is in close-up, my pencil lines, and in some places the stalks might look a little bit thick and the leaves a little bit thick at where they join the stalk, so we can just refine that down a little bit and make our stalks a little bit thinner, and where the leaves join a little bit thinner. So if you look carefully at the one I've got here, you can see it's very fine there, which isn't always picked up when you're drawing around the leaf. So just finish off some of these edges and your stalk, and where they cross over, just draw both patterns, the leaf over the top and the straight edge, because that will come in useful in our doodles. Now all we have to do is just fill in the spaces in between and doodle. So these are the negative spaces in between the leaf shapes. So I'm using a black felt pen, but you can use a very dark B pencil or a biro or anything else you have really. And when we are colouring in between, where the leaves intersect with something else, we can make it heavier, and then follow some of the patterns in the brushwork, create some interesting patterns, and then just colour in between them. So we're going just in between the negative shapes, in between the stalks and the leaves. Just allowing a little bit of green to show through. So that happens. When you come up to the straight edge, you might like to change the sort of shapes of your patterns. Basically, it's just doodling. So following the edge of that one. You can make up whatever pattern you like. So if you enjoyed doing your doodling, then you can keep increasing the size of your artwork from this to this. Happy doodling!
That was easy.